Hey, Livinpink here for Quantic Gaming with Robin, the winner of the IPL5 caster search. How do you feel?
It's still kind of surreal hearing that, but I feel good. I feel really excited. It was awesome walking out on the stage, and people for the most part seem to approve of it. So really awesome.
Can you tell me a little bit about your run, like through all those steps and things, ups and downs?
Yeah, I mean it was a lot of fun. I kind of came back to casting because, as you know, I kind of walked away for a little bit, and I was actually kind of scared of the competition. I mean, people that made top four, Buddha, Ward, and of course Nathanius, they're pretty strong casters. I mean, they're a little bit newer. Luckily, I had experience over them, and I think that's kind of what have got me over the top. But it was a nice little run. It lasted about 3 weeks, as a lot of people know, and I feel like since I came back to casting, I just knew how to improve really quickly. And so if you watch my top 16 and my top 8 cast, it seems to really show that I was excelling a little bit quicker. Because the metagame, I didn't realize how fast it changed until you kind of walk away. Like within 2 months, the game changed so much, and everything I knew was obsolete anymore. So had to learn really quickly.
Did you think you were gonna win?
I felt pretty confident about it, actually, especially after my interview with the HR department. They seemed to really enjoy what I had to say. And then it was kind of nice having Kibbles there because I was pretty confident if I got a cast with him when it came to my actual audition cast, and I thought I was going to do well. But Kevin Nucky actually did the cast with me, and it went pretty well, I felt. And for the most part, afterwards, he said he was impressed, and I haven't had any other feedback after that. So, yeah, I mean, after I did my first cast on Friday, I felt pretty confident about being top 2 at least.
How did you feel when you heard the results?
It was really exciting. I actually requested an interview after I did my cast to get feedback and just get an idea of what they thought on the cast. And I actually walked in, and they were really busy merchandising, so I just kind of walked back out. And I was like, I'll just meet them later on. And they actually came running after me, and they're like, hey, come here, do you have a couple of seconds? And I was like, yeah. And I went in there and like, hey, congratulations, shook my hand, and it was really overwhelming and sudden. I wasn't expecting to know until that evening. So it was a once in a lifetime feeling, and I was really okay with it.
So you're gonna be moving to California. How's that plan going for you?
It's moving really quickly. I actually had an interview about that a little bit earlier on. Just a lot of things to prepare. I mean, I went to the competition, and then once they told me I had to do to California, there's been little plans here and there. But again, like I feel it's a little bit too cocky to think, okay, I'm going to win this thing, so I need to be getting ready for it. So I don't think I'm as prepared as I would like to be, but I think I've got it pretty much set it out. IPL is taking care of me in terms of getting me out there. Being really helpful in that regard. And they're also allowing me a nice amount of time so I can spend Christmas with my family. Got a few weeks to get everything set out, and I can, of course, finish off my job at home. So it's going to be quick, it's going to be fast, and it's going to be done. And by January, I'm ready to cast with everybody.
What's your job?
Commentator, but there's a little bit of some stuff on the side. I'll be producing a lot of content. I've also told them I'm a bit bilingual in other games. Of course, I've played League with you before. I played Halo a little bit semi-professionally, so in terms of being able to talk about a lot of games, I'm kind of up there, so I think I should be able to hop into Shoot Mania, League of Legends, or any other game if they need me to. But for the most part, I'll be focusing on StarCraft 2, 8 to 9 hours out of the day, so really nice.
Right now, do you have another, like a day job?
Yeah. I mean, I have a full-time job. Kind of the reason why my casting isn't as up to par as I would like to be, because I do work about 50 hours a week at my job. I have a girlfriend at home that she has a kid, so I have to spend a little bit of time with them as well, so it's been a bit of a balancing act. So now that I can actually focus full time, hopefully my TVT casting, my PVT will get a little better because I feel they're my weakest that I'm at when it comes to actually being on stage and talking about anything analytically. So from there, I'll start focusing on that, and I'll be good to go.
How did you feel about you competing in the caster search, and what was her reaction to you winning?
I mean, she was a little bit upset about it. I mean, any idea of having to separate because of something is kind of big. She can't, unfortunately, follow me out there because she has her son and the baby daddy in the gangster style. He lives there as well, and I don't think he would agree to her moving out. So we'll spend the rest of our time together and enjoy it, and we'll hope for the best from there.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But at least your dream is coming true, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the things that we both kind of agreed on. It's something that I've wanted to do since I was very young, not in terms of like casting or anything, but just being in gaming in general. And the route that I went, trying to be pro at Halo and then getting into commentary, and then somehow getting onto these major events, it's been a long journey, but it's one that I'm glad that's finally coming to an end, and I'm ready to start the other journey of actually being in it and, of course, learning everything about the casting world or in terms of being in esports.
You had a little bit of highs and lows with casting.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I felt like I moved up really quickly. Again, there's people who have been in this for years. 2, 4, 6, 8 people that have been around for a while. DJ Wheat, man, he's been around since Quake 3, and I was playing that game when I was like 8 years old, and he's finally starting to make money in the last couple of years. So I was very fortunate in terms of moving up to MLG and being able to do premium streams really quickly. I just was at the right time at the right moment, and I was lucky enough to actually know Clutch. He actually helped me get into MLG. Found out then it's really about who you know. Of course, met Tumba and them on the way. So pretty lucky with that. And then with MLG, I thought I had kind of had a job lined up with them, but I never got any feedback as to terms of why I didn't get hired over at Axetos. But of course, Axetos deserves it. Like, nothing against that guy or anything. And it made me get a little bit more of a better drive. But at first, I kind of just like walked away. I was like, apparently, because I put all my eggs in MLG's basket. Like, I didn't apply for IPL community casters. I try not to stay away from getting on teams or anything because I just wanted MLG to know that I was pretty loyal to them. But I kind of learned that lesson that you have to be all over the place, and got me to the point where I need to study a little bit more and make sure that I'm wanted, that I can't just be someone that's just good and they kind of put their faith into me. I have to be at a point where people say, I want that guy to cast. And so I got to experience that, got a little bit better at everything in terms of marketing myself, so I was able to do well in my HR interview. And from there, now I'm with IPL, and I'm very happy.
What would have been your plan if you didn't make it as a caster?
Actually, yeah, I was planning on going to college in January because unfortunately I delayed that a little bit. I had some family problems when I first graduated out of high school with my grandmother and whatnot. So I went for a full-time job to kind of help pay for things. And from there, I never actually went to college. My scholarships kind of expired and whatnot. So now that I had some money sitting around from my job that I've been working for the last few years, I was going to say, okay, you know what? Maybe this dream's not going to happen for me. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Maybe it's not what I'm meant to do. So I was going to hop into college in January, and this contest came up, and very, very lucky. Like, you don't understand how it's just pure luck that I'm here. Like, in all honesty, I don't think there was much skill involved. I really just think that things fell into place, and luckily I was able to get picked.
You're sounding like the Koreans when I say you're good. They're like, no, 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 just lucky.
There's a lot of things that go into somebody winning something. I mean, there's hard work, of course, and everyone works hard. Like, all these other casters, they're good, man. Like, when I saw them cast, I was actually a little bit intimidated because I didn't know their names again because I've been out of the major casting scene for the last couple of months. And so I saw Budo talking. I'm like, this guy's got a good-ass voice. Like, he could beat me pretty easily. And then, of course, Ward's pretty good in terms of flowing with the cast and play-by-play. His analyticals a little bit off. And then Nathanius, I never watched cast, but he plays the game at a pretty high level to stream viewers, about 300 or 400 people watching him daily. So he had a really good advantage in that regard. But when I actually got to see his cast, I think he's a little bit lacking in terms of explaining the game to people, to a crowd, because there's a lot of people that don't know some of the stuff, and he's a little bit higher in terms of what terminology he uses when it comes to the cast. So he's going to be good, though, if he keeps trying. He was a little bit emotional about losing. I mean, anyone would be, but I think if he keeps going, he'll be fine.
What are your plans for the future besides IPL5? Anything?
For now, I want to get to IPL5, and I want to kick ass. First off, I want to study up. I'm ready for IPL6. I don't have any plans of branching out quite yet. I want to get in there. I want to create a lot of content. I have a nice amount of ideas that I won't expose until now, but there are some things that I think are kind of missing in terms of recaps and, of course, some other things that the community needs, I feel, and it's not really covered that much. So with being in a platform like IPL, we have commercial times that we need to fill. So hopefully we can pull something off like NASL. You know how they have fun segments? I have some ideas for that NASL hasn't ran over quite yet. So hoping to get that opportunity and really start to hammer those out really quickly.
Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to do?
So many shout-outs. I mean, my family, of course, they've been really supportive over this. It took them a while to actually get behind me in terms of gaming, but they've been pretty nice. And as well as like Froden, Kibbles, Playham, Casters yourself, the Playham guys have been fantastic. I've been with them for a while. Unfortunately, we're kind of not doing dailies at the moment, and I hope they come back because I was actually getting ready to prepare for this competition by casting, and the day I started, like, that's the day the dailies ended, and I was like, fuck. But nonetheless, thank you to all of them. Zoya, my manager, he self-proclaimed that he was a manager for my caster search, and whenever I won something, he would tell everybody it was his fault. So thank you, Zoya. You did so much. Thank you, man. And then, of course, everyone else that has supported me, followed me on Twitter, and all that fun stuff.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. Congratulations. Well deserved. So this is Livinpink for Quantic Gaming signing out.